we know he's got something in line. So let's take a breather, come back, college football playoffs. Let's jump right into that. Before we continue, shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. If you haven't checked them out for daily fantasy ball, you're 100% missing out. They're hooking you up. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up. Plus, if you decide to play and you deposit $100, they're going to match your at 100% up to that 100. So when we take some picks here, we're going to look over here into some football going on. We got Wednesday night ball. Free pick is Luka Doncic. Definitely taking advantage of that. Let's look at some NFL action here with Cortland Sutton. Now, he's a promo. We're not going to touch him. Bo Nix, though, is the free pick. But I do think that J.K. Dobbins can get something. Let's pick a little Brock Bowers getting a touchdown. I don't think GNT scores in this game. He doesn't seem to ever score or whatnot. But Geno Smith at 212 yards, yeah, we'll take that. But I think he's also going to throw some interception in this game. And give me some R.J. Harvey out here. He's going to score a touchdown. All you got to do is pick two or more players, pick more or less on their stats. And if you hit, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, making game days into paydays. So if you've got the knowledge, check them out. Use our promo code PRIMETIME. They're going to match you at 100% up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. All right, what's good, everybody? Jay Dukes, ball talking. Tells y'all we're going to start bringing this to y'all more often. It's going to talk some ball because there's a lot of stuff going on in college football and a lot of stuff that's interesting. So, Dukes, let's look at this, man. The college football playoffs has the top 25 is dropped. I thought this was an interesting 25 to begin with. When you look at this, man, what jumps out to you? What do you think makes sense? Are we in a good spot here?
I just don't see how Miami is 18 and Notre Dame is 10.
Bruh.
I just don't see it. When you look at the grace being given to Notre Dame for 2 losses, now their losses were to Texas A&M and
Miami.
Okay. Miami lost to SMU and I forgot who else they lost to.
Who the other lost to?
And then Miami lost to Louisville.
Yep, Louisville,
right? I would venture to say that, okay, Notre Dame lost to the number 3 and the number 18 team. Miami lost to the 15, and so the other team isn't ranked. But
yep, not yet.
But it looks like they're on their way back to being ranked. But a very respectable playoff team from last year in SMU, and you actually beat the number 10 team. So the quality wins that Miami has automatically supersedes the quality wins of Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is still ranked 8 places better. So
8 places, dog.
It doesn't. That's the one that kind of sticks out to me over everything else. I'm pretty cool with everything else, to be honest. Still a ton of SEC teams. It looks like Memphis would be the group of 5 team that goes. And yeah, I would say probably. I think they got it right outside of that so far. What you think?
Miami lost to 2 teams by combined 9 points, 1 on the road, 1 at the crib, and the 1 at the crib was to number 15. You're 100% right. This is where I see a logical fallacy in what they're doing with this, dog. If you got Notre Dame at number 10, losing to number 3 and number 18, you got Oklahoma at number 12, who lost to number 6 and 11, but you got Texas right there at 11, and they lost to number 1 and an unranked team. Why is Texas so high in here, but you can't give Miami similar grace?
Yeah.
That, to me, is what jumped out. And that's nothing against Texas. I figured Texas was going to be one of the first teams out because technically, the way this is set up, these are the first teams out for 11 and 12 because you still got to have a conference champion from the ACC who's not in the top 12. So if it was today, Virginia would get in. And then you got to have a G5. There's no G5 ranked. The highest rated one would get in there. None of them's rated, so whoever's the highest out of all of them is getting the 12th spot. So Oklahoma and Texas are both out regardless. But that's the thing that jumped out to me, though, is you gave, like you just said, you give Notre Dame that, and the 2 teams they lost to are ranked. Oklahoma's 2 teams are ranked. But you got Texas up there. and Miami's much lower, but they lost to number 15 and a team that's 7-3, while Texas's losses to a team that has a losing record.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's the consistency with that? And again, it's nothing against Texas. It's just we're trying to understand the consistency. Florida is 3-5 right now. They lost on the road, yes. Miami also lost on the road. Now, both Texas losses were on the road to Ohio State and Florida. Totally get that. They also went to overtime with Kentucky and Mississippi State. The whole body of work is where the questions come in. That's where all of that stuff should have value. But you're right. That Notre Dame one to me is wild. You're really giving them a lot of grace. For what? Does Notre Dame... They beat South Carolina. I mean, they beat USC. So I guess that's their, ranked win right there?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one that we're going to give them as that's the win that they had that was ranked?
Yeah,
but everybody else they played L's. Now, granted, they still got Pitt, who's 24th, on the road. They've got Syracuse. I don't know what Fran Brown's doing up there, but we'll see.
Hey, man, Notre Dame gets to write their ticket every year, man. That's what it feels like. That's what it seems like. And the bias of what happens preseason, I think is what has to get fixed. I think where you rank guys, maybe you get rid of, maybe you don't rank people until week 4.
Yeah.
Maybe you stop ranking people going into the season, because at the end of the day, that bias seems to travel well into the season. Because right now, if without Texas being preseason 1, are they still 11?
Yeah, are they up there? And right now, they're considered the first team out, right? Like if you look at it here for everybody, they're the first team out at 11 with Oklahoma at 12 right behind them. And like you said, if they didn't finish up as they weren't the preseason number 1 or number 2 with Penn State, back and forth.
Right, Penn State, right.
Them in Penn State, would they be given this much grace after the games that they had? Because the top 25, the actual, AP rankings wasn't giving them that much grace. They're 13 in the AP. The coaches poll has them 13 as well. So, yeah, it's interesting that they're kind of skating into it. But this is what it looks like if things ended today. That's where you'll see a Memphis who's considered one of the higher ones, and you'd see Virginia, because Memphis is number 22 in the AP poll, and then Virginia gets in because they'd be the quote unquote conference champs.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's real wild. I think that if it broke down this way, I think you got. If I would go Georgia. That first round, I would go Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss, Notre Dame.
Yeah. You think BYU would lose to Notre Dame, huh?
Yeah, I don't see it. I just feel like from watching BYU a couple of games this season, they're I don't know if they have the pedigree. Now, one thing Notre Dame does has a ton of athletes. So I just think that I think they will out athlete them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you. Because I feel like the true freshman wouldn't be able to hold it up for as good as Bear has been as a true freshman this year. At some point, that luck starts to fizzle away when you go against a veteran defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and I don't think it's not enough game tackling in the world for Jeremiah Love. Like not for them. Yeah, he's a good point. Real killer. So quarterfinals, I would have Georgia and Bama. I would go. Give me Georgia in a rematch. Oregon, Ohio State. Give me Ohio State. So that gives me Georgia, Ohio State. Virginia, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. I would have to see how the season continues to go, but I would probably lean Texas A&M that game just defensively. Defense in that time of the year, and we haven't seen Lane really have that big game win yet. So I would probably go Texas A&M there, and then give me the feel good story, man. Give me Indiana again over Notre Dame.
Ooh, you going Indiana again?
Yeah, give me Indiana over Notre Dame.
Word. So now this would be a rematch of last year's playoffs because Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17 last year. So that would be an interesting rematch in Indiana. You think they'd win it? Wow. Like, I love the Sig story too. Like getting Fernando Mendoza, bringing in all those James Madison dudes, and then just out there slaying everybody in the Big Ten. I guess the question for me, is that more of an indictment on the Big Ten, or is Sig and them boys really them dudes?
Man, listen, they got the boy ranked number 3 as the top quarterback at this point. Man, Mendoza, I didn't know the boy was 6'5".
Yeah, when I saw him in Cal last year, dog, I looked at him and said, man, he gonna make a lot of money in the portal.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. So now that I'm paying attention, I'm like, hey, bro, like, dude is legit. So from that point, when you have a guy who can say, the play's breaking down, you're supposed to tackle me and you can't because I'm more physically imposing than you at this level. I think that's important in these type of games. And Sig hasn't had this. He's had some good quarterbacks, but he hasn't had a guy who said, hey, turn around and say, all right, go make something happen. And they can go do it. And we saw it against Oregon. So I think now and Oregon is chock full of athletes. They got $800, $900,000 $1 million players on the bench. So I think that showed me a lot about Indiana's pedigree. Now we can talk now all the rest of the teams in the Big Ten. What you do against those Oregons and Ohio States means a lot, and even the USC's to a certain extent. Yeah. So, man, I think right now I got Georgia in a rematch. I just think for whatever reason I don't think Bama can beat them twice in the same year. I don't think they come out the same way they came out the first time. But shoot, man. So that leaves what we got: Ohio State, Georgia.
Yeah, Ohio State, Georgia, and then Texas A&M versus Indiana. What you got?
If it had to be tomorrow, I'll probably go Ohio State. Give me Elko again, Texas A&M. I like that defense. Give me Elko again. Cassius Howell.
Marcel Reed taking him there. You calling it?
Yeah, I think it's almost like that Baltimore. I think that I don't know. Oh man, I don't know. I just thought about it. You know what? I'm gonna stay true to my quarterback play, bro. I'm gonna go Indiana over Texas A&M. That's what I'm gonna go Indiana over Texas A&M. Give me a championship, a Big Ten championship of Ohio State and Indiana, and give me Ohio State as back-to-back champs. And they loaded, bro. When you go back and you look at Ohio State, bro, they got everything, bro. They got a quarterback. Man, I was talking to somebody earlier, and they was like, man, you can't stop Carnell Tate. He mentioned everybody on Ohio State's team but Jeremiah Smith. And that Arvell Reese has been a revelation. When Caleb Downs may not be your best defender, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Ohio State is loaded, bro. I know for a fact they got a tight end on that team by the name of Jelani Tank Thurman, who doesn't play. He would start at probably about 60. He would probably start about 80% of schools in the country. Yeah. And he's like your third, and he is really good. So Ohio State just has a loaded roster, and I think now Ryan Day knows what to do. And if it started tomorrow, I would take Ohio State.
Dang, that's a big one, man. I don't think I could disagree with you, man. It feels like they're the team to beat. They've shown us that they are them dudes. We just got to find somebody that's going to stop them. All right, let's take a breather real quick. I want to talk coaching carousel. We're going to talk coaching carousel like we've done like crazy because Dukes, your coach got fired. Let's dive into that real quick.